Your honeymoon is a once-in-a-lifetime event, and I can help you make it perfect. Are you dreaming of a honeymoon vacation at a beautiful tropical island? Do you want to have a magical honeymoon experience? Do you know what you need to pack for your honeymoon? This book can help you and your spouse fix the details of your perfect getaway. Read through the pages of this book and start packing your bags now. Introduction. No matter how tight your budget is, you and your spouse deserve to enjoy a relaxing honeymoon in a nice place. You deserve a luxurious vacation after the buildup of all the stress you experienced during the wedding planning. You deserve romantic and intimate moments after celebrating with friends and family. You deserve your dream honeymoon. You deserve to celebrate your love. Your honeymoon can be just as fun and exciting as your wedding, but this time around, it is going to be just you and your spouse. It's a time for you to get to know each other in a more intimate way. Traveling together to a new and exciting place will allow you to see a different side of the person you married. Spending a week or a month with your spouse in the best setting possible will allow you to make beautiful memories before you plunge into the realities of married life. Your honeymoon will probably be the most memorable trip of your entire life. It is perfectly understandable why you feel the pressure of planning this trip. Naturally, you want everything to be perfect down to the last detail. After all, it's your first trip as husband and wife. You need to make sure that nothing goes wrong. As you imagine the trip, perhaps you have a billion questions running in your mind. Where will you go? What will you pack? Will your budget be enough? Relax and take a breather. Allow yourself to enjoy the planning stage. It is possible to plan the perfect honeymoon without getting stressed. Organize your thoughts and figure out what will be the best for you and your spouse. If you are not planning a surprise honeymoon, then it is best to discuss your honeymoon options with your spouse. Figure out what you want together. If you research and plan everything well, you will surely be able to reach a compromise that you will both find exciting. A honeymoon should largely be about what you want as a couple. It is important to base your honeymoon on what you really want as a couple. Even if you have drastically different ideas about how your honeymoon should be, you would surely be able to come up with an itinerary that will make both of you happy. Find a way to make your honeymoon unique and personalized. There are so many options nowadays. There is absolutely no reason for you to make your honeymoon seem ordinary or uninteresting. Whether you want an adventurous trip or something extremely luxurious, make sure to plan everything well to ensure that this once-in-a-lifetime trip will truly be the honeymoon of your dreams. Chapter 1. Honeymoon Basics. Nowadays, it is a common practice for the bride and groom to quietly slip away for a short vacation right after the wedding. Most couples get to enjoy a short escape to another country or to a popular vacation spot to revel in the sweetness of this new and exciting stage in their lives. Some couples think that it is important to plan the perfect honeymoon in order to get their relationship to start off right. Other couples just want to find a way to relax together after the whirlwind of planning a wedding. It is generally understood that the honeymoon is a time for the bride and groom to celebrate their love, intimacy, and passion for each other. The seclusion and privacy allows the couple to bond together during the initial days of their marriage. However, this was not always the case. Honeymoons weren't always sweet and intimate. This very romantic wedding tradition actually originated from a very barbaric concept. Thousands of years ago, the common practice was for the groom to abduct the woman he wants to marry. The woman's family would often try to search for her, but they rarely succeeded. Only the groom's closest friends or his groomsmen were aware of the couple's whereabouts. Essentially, this is kidnapping, and there is absolutely nothing romantic about it. During their time together, they would drink mead. Mead is made of water and old honey. The taste of mead is similar to the taste of wine. It is believed that this is where the honey part of the honeymoon originated. The man and the bride-to-be would usually stay in hiding for about a month, which is clearly defined by the phases of the moon. This is where the moon part of the word originated, hence the term honeymoon. Later in history, the concept of honeymoons evolved to something safer, more practical, and more acceptable. However, it still wasn't as romantic as we now understand it to be. 19th century Britain considered a honeymoon as something similar to a bridal tour, which allowed the couple to visit friends and relatives who weren't able to attend the wedding ceremony. Such trips can last for months, and for a lucky few, maybe even a year. However, this kind of trip is as expensive as it sounds, and not everyone has the luxury to travel around the world as they please. Those who don't have a fortune to spend tried to copy the bridal tour, but limited their plans to shorter trips in nearby locations. This is more similar to the honeymoon traditions of contemporary usage. An arrangement like this allows the couple to spend time together in a relaxing destination to escape the problems and distractions of daily life. Most newlyweds nowadays look forward to their honeymoon almost as much as they look forward to the wedding. And why shouldn't they? There are so many options to choose from a romantic beach destination to an exciting safari adventure. Some companies can even tailor-fit their packages to fit the couple's preferences. With all the options and conveniences that the travel industry has to offer, there is no reason to get lazy in planning your honeymoon. It's now all a matter of where you want to go and how long you want to stay. Why should I go on a honeymoon? A honeymoon is not just about traveling and exploring new places. It is an opportunity for you and your spouse to get to know each other without distractions or any other external influences. You can pamper each other as you make beautiful memories that you can remember when marital problems and tensions begin to arise. It's a celebration of your relationship and your union. Why would you even have second thoughts on celebrating something as beautiful as your love? A honeymoon, no matter how short or how simple, will give you and your spouse a sense of togetherness. It will make it easier for you to understand each other and see each other's caring side. If you have a serious and a busy spouse, going on a honeymoon will allow you to see the child in your spouse. It's like this trip will allow you to rediscover the fun and positive side to marriage that may be difficult to notice once bills, problems, and other distractions start to pile up. It is always a good idea to start a relationship by creating good memories. A honeymoon will allow you and your spouse to create happy memories that you can take home with you as you start your new life. Your honeymoon is also a chance for you to recharge and re-energize. Surely, you felt exhausted from all the planning and partying from your wedding ceremony. This is your chance to relax. After all, you would probably want to feel refreshed as you start your new life. What kind of honeymoon should I plan? Although planning the honeymoon is not as tiring as planning the wedding, it can be just as exciting. The nice thing about planning a honeymoon is that you don't need to please everyone. You just need to discuss with your spouse until you come to an agreement. You can go with what you want without taking into consideration what your parents, in-laws, and friends will say. Aside from your budget, one of the things that you should consider when planning a honeymoon is your personality. What are the things that you enjoy? What kind of activities do you think will suit your preferences? Here are some honeymoon ideas that could help you in the planning. Those who want a safe and convenient choice should opt to go for something traditional. There is a reason why people stick to traditional choices in spite of the abundance of other options nowadays. Traditions make people feel safe and happy. It is appealing for those who want to relax and enjoy without completely leaving their comfort zones. The options for a traditional honeymoon have already been tried and tested. It is almost guaranteed that you and your spouse will enjoy the trip. Nothing could be more traditional than a European honeymoon. You could walk in the romantic streets of Italy, enjoy the passionate arts in Spain, and of course, fall even more deeply in love with each other in Paris. A European honeymoon is a dream come true for young romantic couples who want to relax, enjoy, and explore. On the other hand, you might want something that would make you feel more independent and free. Perhaps you'd like to take this opportunity to discover new places and explore new cultures. There are so many places to explore. You don't even need to leave the country to stumble upon an interesting location. If you are interested in a one-of-a-kind and unique trip, you can opt for the Greek islands, Turkey, or Croatia. These countries offer fantastic opportunities for you to enjoy an interesting honeymoon experience. Doesn't it sound exciting to explore these new and exciting places with your spouse? You can soak up the sun and learn a thing or two about a new culture. Something like this is ideal for those who want a magical honeymoon that is completely different from daily life. There are couples who are on the constant lookout for adventure. These are the ones who enjoy climbing mountains or diving off cliffs. If you and your spouse are thrill seekers who want something that will make you excited, then plan a honeymoon experience that will give you an adrenaline rush. There are many options and packages which will allow you to share exciting experiences with your spouse. If you are willing to splurge, you might consider going all out in a safari adventure somewhere in South Africa. Or you might want to go on an exciting backpacking tour of Southeast Asia. You can observe the migration of exotic birds, or you can go diving to see rare coral reefs. There are many ways to bond with your spouse in exotic locales. The numerous exciting activities that you can do together will surely make your bond stronger and will help you create lasting memories. Who pays for the honeymoon? Traditionally speaking, it is the family of the groom who shoulders the expenses for the honeymoon. This can be applied if the couple would follow tradition, meaning the bride's family would shoulder the expenses for the wedding ceremony as well. However, most couples no longer follow traditions like this, especially since most couples get married at a later age. They are now prepared to use their own savings to pay for the honeymoon trip. If the groom's parents, or anyone else for that matter, offer to pay for the honeymoon, then graciously accept. However, keep in mind that no one is obliged to give you anything. In case you don't receive any help, you must be prepared to pay for the honeymoon yourself. Some couples go for a honeymoon registry instead of a gift registry. This means that the guests in the wedding ceremony can opt to pay for part of the honeymoon expenses instead of giving gifts. If you think that you really need help in paying for the honeymoon trip, then this is a really good idea. Your guests will be able to give you something you really need, and you will be able to enjoy your honeymoon even if you have a small budget. Chapter 2. The Planning Stage. Just like anything else, your honeymoon will only be smooth if you plan it well. Planning this once-in-a-lifetime occasion may take some work, but it will all be worth it once you and your spouse start your relaxing getaway. If you really want something convenient, then you may want to consider hiring a travel agent to do all the dirty work for you. However, if you want something more unique and personalized, then it is much better to do all the planning yourself. Planning a honeymoon starts out just like how you would plan any of your other trips. You need to pick a destination, book tickets, and choose a hotel. However, it is also more than just that. You need to go the extra mile if you truly want to make your honeymoon special. You need to plan smart if you want to make your honeymoon special without going overboard with your budget. Here are some planning tips which you might find useful. 1. Plan as early as you can. It is easy to get so absorbed in planning the details of your wedding, but don't forget that you need to plan for your honeymoon as well. Planning ahead will give you the time to pick the perfect spot, book cheaper tickets, and fix documents that you need for traveling. Keep in mind that you don't necessarily need to schedule your honeymoon immediately after the wedding, but you might want to finalize the date as soon as you can in order to make the appropriate reservations. Discuss with your spouse if you want to go on your honeymoon right after the wedding, or if you want to settle in your new home first. You might also want to wait for a specific season. There are no rules as to when you need to go, but it is important to agree on a final date as soon as you can in order to make preparations easier. It is a good idea to talk to your spouse. However, some spouses like to consider their honeymoon a surprise. If you want to surprise your spouse, make sure that it is something that he or she will enjoy. Ask your friends or other relatives to help you fish for what your spouse really wants. Also, try to iron out all the details to ensure that nothing goes wrong. 2. Research well. Yes, this might require you to try and remember the lessons from your geography class. Set aside a weekend to browse the net to learn about the options that you have. Attend travel fairs. Ask friends who recently got married. If you do your research well, you might be able to discover travel secrets that might make your honeymoon even more exciting. Travel trends and prices change over the years, so make sure that you are updated. The last thing you want is to book a hotel that was hip 10 years ago. Fortunately, it is so easy to do your research online. Look for travel websites with recommendations from people with no bias. It is also good to send an email to inquire about the specific hotel or destinations which seem appealing to you. More often than not, these vacation destinations have rates that are different from the ones published online. You might be able to get what you want at a friendlier price if you talk to the manager directly. Research includes talking to couples who recently went on their honeymoon as well. Ask them about their experiences and listen to their pieces of advice. You might be able to pick up something which you might find useful. Don't forget to research about your travel documents and other identification cards that you might need. It is important to pay attention to travel requirements, especially if you are going abroad. Bring photocopies and soft copies to ensure that you have a backup plan in case you lose the originals. Also, try to do your research about how things are handled in the airport where you are going. They might have different rules in the place where you are going. Most importantly, don't forget to look out for you and your spouse's safety. Make sure that you have the proper vaccinations that are required in the places you are going to visit. Also, it is a good idea to invest in travel insurance so that you are sure you have a go-to plan in case something goes wrong. 3. Plan your expenses. Surely, you've already shelled out a lot of cash for the wedding ceremony. It is important to plan your expenses for the honeymoon to ensure that you won't go over your budget. Your honeymoon is not an excuse for you to go all out on the spending. Planning your expenses will allow you to make wiser financial decisions. What airline offers the best deal? Does a 5-star hotel really fit your budget? Planning how to spend your money will help keep your bank accounts healthy. It is a bad idea to start your marriage with a debt. This does not mean that you won't enjoy. Planning your expenses means looking for ways to do what you want without spending a fortune. After all, it is still your honeymoon, and you are still entitled to have fun. This just means that making adjustments in your plan can go a long way in helping you save cash. For example, airfare is one of the biggest expenses that you can incur during the honeymoon. Try to choose an airline that is within your budget. Also, don't fly first class if the flight is short. Choosing economy class might mean you have extra cash for a nice dinner or a hotel room upgrade. 4. Finalize your plans. What kind of honeymoon are you looking for? What kind of resort do you want? When do you actually plan to leave? These are perhaps the most important details that you need to focus on when planning your honeymoon. You need to iron out the details, double-check your reservations, and make sure you have a plane to ride, a place to sleep, and things to do. More often than not, planning an entire trip takes longer than an entire afternoon. It is a long process of researching and following up on through phone calls and emails. Don't get frustrated if you don't come up with an itinerary quite easily. Eventually, your plans will fall into place, and you will be happy with an itinerary you come up with. It is a good idea to leave some time for relaxation. Don't plan to do something every hour. The trick is to find the magical balance between doing something exciting and doing something relaxing. For example, you can plan a trip to the spa after an afternoon of surfing. Make sure that you have things to do, but that you have time to relax and unwind as well. 5. But be ready in case things don't go as planned. Your honeymoon is not something like a work trip or seminar you paid for. You can't expect everything to go exactly as planned. You might be 10 minutes late for dinner because you want to enjoy watching the sunset. You and your spouse might find yourselves more in the mood to just stay in, rather than continue with the morning trip you planned. You might have to change plans at the last minute, and it's absolutely okay. Much as you want to schedule everything on this special trip, keep in mind that some of the most beautiful things in life come in the form of surprises. After all, the most important thing is for you and your spouse to enjoy and feel closer during this very special occasion. Your happiness as a couple is more important than any other activity that you can do during this trip. There is something romantic and charming about being spontaneous, so make sure that you leave some time for spontaneity during your trip. Don't get stressed out when you don't get to do everything as planned. At the end of the day, the most important thing is for you and your spouse to celebrate your love and togetherness. 6. Inform everyone you are on a honeymoon. Surprising as it may seem, the world still celebrates love. Casually inform your airline attendant or the hotel front desk that you are on your honeymoon, and you might get to enjoy courtesies that can make you feel special. These establishments are used to this kind of celebration, and they are often more than happy to go the extra mile for their honeymooners. You might get a free bottle of wine, a seat upgrade, or a romantic welcome. You never know what is in store for you. All you have to do is mention that you and your spouse are newlyweds who are enjoying your time together. 7. Leave behind work. Don't even attempt to check your work email while you are vacationing. Even if you are in the most relaxing place in the world, you probably won't get to feel the romance if you check your mail while on vacation. It will ruin the mood for both you and your spouse. It is simply not worth it. Inform your boss and the other people in your workplace when you will be on your honeymoon. If you are lucky, you will be allowed to enjoy your trip in peace. It is not a bad idea to leave behind your laptop and work phone as you enjoy paradise. You can expect your spouse to do the same. If you can, try to stay away from social media sites as well. Just keep those gadgets away from you during the time that you spend with your spouse. Stop yourself from taking pictures every single minute. Don't update the online world with all your activities. This trip is about you and your spouse, so try to do what you can to make it special for each other. Remember that this is a once-in-a-lifetime celebration of your love, so enjoy every single minute of it. Focus on having a good time with your spouse. Focus on celebrating your marriage. Focus on making each other feel loved during this trip. 8. Make memories. You might get into small arguments or fights during the honeymoon, but make sure that you resolve things and try to enjoy the experience together, in spite of disagreements that you may encounter. Make sure that when you and your spouse look back on your honeymoon memories years down the road, you will remember good things. There are many ways to make new memories with your spouse. Try to do something together for the first time. You can also attempt to join a simple class and learn something together. It can be something as simple as cooking or a simple yoga session for beginners. You will surely find something interesting whatever part of the world you find yourself in. Chapter 3. Do's and Don'ts for the Groom. Being married to the woman of your dreams is not an excuse for you to slack off. In fact, your honeymoon is the perfect chance for you to step up on your romance game. Take this chance to show your wife that she did not commit a huge mistake in agreeing to marry you. Very few things are more attractive than a groom who can take charge of the honeymoon planning. Even if you and your spouse might agree to plan the honeymoon together, it is only natural to expect a bit more from the groom. After all, tradition dictates that grooms should plan and pay for the honeymoon. While you are no longer expected to follow this tradition, it is always a good idea to make your bride feel a bit more special. Consider the honeymoon as a preview of how you plan to take care of her for the rest of your lives. Most women want a picture-perfect wedding and honeymoon. This is the perfect chance for you to step up and show that you are a responsible man who can handle impeccable planning. If you have no idea on how to plan your bride's dream honeymoon, here are some tips which can guide you. 1. Don't copy your best friend's honeymoon itinerary. You cannot plan your honeymoon based on a template of what worked for another person, even if that other person is your best friend. How do you think your bride will feel if she found out that you just copied your honeymoon? This is a once-in-a-lifetime event. Try to do what you can to make it special. There is nothing wrong with asking for tips and pieces of advice from other people, but try to make sure that your trip is unique and personalized. Make sure that you tailor-fit the activities based on what you and your spouse want to experience together. It will make the trip more memorable, and it will make your spouse feel more special if you plan your honeymoon according to how you want to spend your time together. 2. Do plan a mini-moon. It is possible that you and your spouse plan to celebrate your honeymoon months after the wedding. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, it would be nice and romantic to plan a mini-moon with your spouse to allow you to celebrate your love immediately after the wedding ceremony. You and your spouse can plan the honeymoon together, but as the groom, you can step up and plan the mini moon by yourself. It doesn't have to be something big. It could be as simple as a weekend in a nice hotel or a short trip to a nearby town. The important thing is that you get to do something together that will make both of you feel special after the wedding. It will make your bride feel like she is truly loved. 3. Do stay in a good hotel. There are indeed hotels which offer cheap options, but you risk sleeping in dirty rooms with bad service. It's not something that you'd want for your honeymoon. You might even get into arguments just because of trying to save some cash. Even if you are working with a budget, it is a good idea to spend at least one night in a good hotel that will make you and your spouse feel relaxed. There are many boutique hotels which offer good options at reasonable rates. A good hotel does not necessarily mean something that will make you feel like you've been robbed. 4. Do know her needs. If you are planning a surprise trip, make sure that you pack your spouse's stuff appropriately. If you are going to a tropical location, make sure you have enough bikinis, sunblock bottles, and sunglasses. If you are traveling to a cold place, make sure that you pack coats and mufflers and everything else that will protect her from the temperature. Wherever you are going, pack enough underwear, footwear, and several dresses that will make her feel beautiful. You might need the help of her sister or best friend to ensure that everything that you will bring for your spouse is organized. There are certain things that only women know and understand, so there is always the danger that you will forget to include something which your spouse might deem necessary for your surprise trip. 5. Don't think that you need to be together 24/7. This is especially true if your honeymoon would last for a week or more. While you will be together for 90% of the time, it is a good idea to surprise your spouse with an activity that she will enjoy. For example, surprise her with a spa appointment or an afternoon of shopping. Your bride will feel even more special knowing that you planned for her to do things that she enjoys. While she is enjoying, you will also get a chance to do what you want. The brief period of separation will make you miss each other. 6. Do consider writing your thank you cards during the honeymoon. If you have a long honeymoon vacation, or if you think that you will have a lot of idle time, do consider writing your thank you cards while you are on your honeymoon. It will give your cards a more personalized touch, and the guests who receive them will feel more special. This is an especially good practice if some of your guests shouldered part of your honeymoon expenses. Just let them know where their money went and that you enjoyed the honeymoon vacation. Simple postcards with a meaningful message would make your guests feel like you are truly grateful for their presence and their gift. Chapter 4. Do's and Don'ts for the Bride. After a tiring wedding ceremony, you were probably looking for some downtime. As the bride, you had to please so many people during the wedding. You had to take into account what your parents or in-laws would say. Now that the festivities are over, you finally have time to relax. For your honeymoon, it's all about you and your spouse. You can enjoy and celebrate the beauty of being newlyweds. Fortunately, brides are not expected to do a lot of work during the honeymoon planning. Since brides usually take care of planning the wedding details, grooms are often the ones who step up to plan the honeymoon. If you are tired of making schedules and finalizing plans, then there is nothing wrong with letting your groom or some other trusted person take over the honeymoon planning. However, if you still want to get involved, then you can start discussing your plans with your husband-to-be. Whether you help in the planning or not, there are still certain do's and don'ts which will help you have a fun, memorable honeymoon. Here are some of the things you should keep in mind during your trip. 1. Do try to look good. Fortunately, most women have an after-wedding glow, which makes them look effortlessly gorgeous. Since you are happy and in love, your beauty will naturally shine through. However, it is still good to pay attention to how you look during your honeymoon. Though your husband will probably find you beautiful no matter how you look, you will feel more confident if you know that you are prepared. When you pack your stuff, make sure that you have at least one nice dress that you can wear in case your husband suddenly decides to surprise you with a nice dinner. A little black dress with the right accessories can come in handy. You never know when you need to suddenly fix up and dress up. Also, don't forget to bring all your essentials. Don't forget to pack a tube of moisturizer if you are going to a cold place. Bring your favorite shade of lipstick for an instant confidence boost. Now more than ever, you have every reason to look and feel beautiful. 2. Don't overpack. Women are notorious for bringing more than what they need. Overpacking has certain disadvantages, especially if you plan to visit more than one country or transfer hotels. You don't want to look and feel uncomfortable while lugging around huge luggage that can keep you from enjoying your travel. Learn the art of packing your stuff efficiently. Try to make a list of what you really need and stick to that list. It might also be a good idea to invest in luggage that you can easily bring with you as you travel. If you are more comfortable, you are more likely to enjoy your honeymoon vacation. 3. Don't go for a high-maintenance look. During your honeymoon, it is best to go minimal with your makeup so that you don't need to spend too much time in the morning trying to fix up. You don't want to keep your husband waiting for you every single morning just to look good, do you? Practice a bare look that only takes a couple of minutes to do. A bit of gloss and cheek tint would probably do for your day trips. During the evening, it is okay to spend a little more time trying to look good, but don't go overboard. It is likely that your husband would appreciate you no matter how you look. The most important thing is for you to enjoy your time and your trip together. Also, try to stick to wearing clothes that you are comfortable with. Don't worry, you can look sexy with the right attitude and the right accessories. Don't feel the need to wear the skimpiest outfits just because you are out on your honeymoon. Choosing what makes you feel comfortable will surely allow you to enjoy your activities more. 4. Do add an element of surprise. Just because your husband is the one who planned everything, it does not mean that you are free from all responsibilities regarding your honeymoon. Just as your husband went out of his way to make you feel special, you can do what you can to make him feel special too. It doesn't have to be something expensive. Just do something that could make your husband feel like he is loved. You can arrange something for your husband, like a special dinner. You can also get him a simple gift. Just show him your sweet side. You don't need to forget all the sweetness you showered him with just because you are now married. Give him a preview of how loving you can be as a wife. 5. Do speak up. If it so happens that you and your husband decided to plan the honeymoon together, do let him know what are the things you want to experience. Speak up and give him a good idea of your dream honeymoon vacation. Letting your spouse know what you want for your honeymoon will allow him to make better plans. You can't expect him to read your mind, so you need to tell him how you want your honeymoon to go. Planning for the honeymoon can indeed be stressful, especially since you will need to do it while you are planning for the wedding as well. Make sure to have healthy discussions with your spouse and to respect each other's preferences. Come up with a compromise that will make the both of you happy. Chapter 5. Honeymoon on a Budget. It is easy to plan a honeymoon when you have a bottomless wallet. You can do whatever you want without worrying about where to get all the money for your expenses. Unfortunately, not all of us have that kind of luxury. Most will need to work with a realistic budget. In fact, many couples make decisions regarding their honeymoon based on their budget. Fortunately, there are options which will allow you to enjoy your honeymoon even if you have a limited budget. A budget-friendly honeymoon does not have to be tacky. If you plan well, and if you learn how to maximize your resources, you will be able to come up with something that you'll find enjoyable without burning a hole in your pocket. Coming up with honeymoon plans, even if you have a limited budget, is all about working a bit more to save a lot. Here are a couple of tricks and tips which can help you save money without compromising your entire honeymoon experience. 1. Maximize your points. It is the best time to maximize all the freebies and points that you get from your credit card. As soon as you finalize the date of your trip, try to research and find out which card will offer the most helpful reward system. Use that card often to maximize the point system. You can even charge your wedding ceremony to rack up more points. If you play your cards right, you might be able to get a seat upgrade or even a free hotel stay. 2. Go for a honeymoon gift registry. It's always nice to receive household items if you are building your nest. But you might consider having your guests pay for part of your honeymoon in lieu of receiving traditional gifts. Instead of asking for gifts from your guests, why not try to ask them to sponsor activities that you can do on your honeymoon? Having someone pay for a couple of nights in the hotel or the airfare back home can do wonders for your budget. You can also ask your guests to pay for specific activities that you think you will enjoy. Guests would probably love to pay for your skydiving activity or a dinner at an exotic restaurant. There are certain honeymoon packages which can easily make this arrangement for you. All you have to do is register online and talk to their agent. Your guests could then conveniently buy their gifts online. Check if your destination of choice offers this option. You may also check certain websites which can arrange a honeymoon registry for you. 3. Choose the perfect timing. When planning your vacation, timing is a lot more important than you think. Flying off season can make a huge difference in your budget. When the demand is low, you might be able to afford certain activities or certain upgrades, which might seem too expensive during the regular season. Traveling off-season might mean that you need to delay your trip for a while in order to get the perfect timing. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Talk to your spouse and discuss the most strategic approach to saving money. If you choose to delay your honeymoon, you can have a mini-moon right after your wedding. 4. Consider driving to a location. If you have a lot of time, you can consider driving to locations. You will save lots of cash, and you can make the drive part of your honeymoon. Instead of seeing it as a long and tiring drive, try to see the drive as part of your honeymoon. Plan stopovers. Visit friends who did not make it to your wedding. They might even invite you to sleep over in their homes during your stay. You can even plan your entire honeymoon based on the route you are planning to take. Stay in a cozy bed and breakfast in one city. Catch the lights and sounds in the next. There are many things that you can do to make a long drive interesting. Make sure that you have lots of snacks in the car and that you have good music ready to play as you drive. 5. Consider getting an all-inclusive package. An all-inclusive package is very convenient because you no longer have to think about the details of your trip, like meals and transportation. Some resorts even include leisure activities in their upfront fees. You won't have to budget everything down to the last cent because everything is prearranged. It can be very convenient, and most of the time it comes out cheaper. You also don't have to worry about fixing your schedule because an all-inclusive package usually comes with a complete itinerary. It is generally a good choice for couples who want to save money. However, if you do decide to go for something like this, make sure to talk with the agent or hotel manager about what is included in the package. If possible, have something in black and white to ensure that you know what you are paying for. As much as possible, you want to avoid surprises on your honeymoon, so try to fix everything down to the last detail. Unfortunately, some travel agencies or hotels use scams like this to scam their guests. In the end, those who are not meticulous end up unsatisfied with the package, so they pay more just to get what they want. 6. Give yourself a daily budget. It is easy to finish up all your cash when you are on vacation. Psychologically speaking, people just seem to spend more when they are in a foreign place. However, keep in mind that even if you are on your honeymoon, you still have a budget to work with. If you don't watch out, you might find yourselves living like kings on the first few days and living like paupers on the last few. You might even find yourself in debt if you mindlessly swipe your credit card all the time. It can be difficult to deal with debt once you get back home. One solution to this is to agree on a daily budget that is reasonable and workable. Don't be too cheap, though. Allow yourself a nice, luxurious meal once a day, but buy your snacks from a nearby grocery. Resist the urge to join every single activity and tour. The important thing is to make sure that your funds will last until the end of your trip. 7. Pack what you can. Try to foresee what your needs are and pack whatever you can. Depending on your needs, this may include your toiletries and even some snacks. Don't forget to include basic medicines and vitamins which you might need in case something goes wrong with your health. If you or your spouse gets sick during the trip, you won't need to spend more on medicine. Items are generally more expensive in tourist destinations, so pack your travel essentials. If you buy these things at your destination of choice, your expenses will just stock up, and you will likely end up spending more than you intend. Chapter 6. Packing for your honeymoon. Packing for any trip is no easy task, and it gets even more challenging when you are packing for your much-awaited indulgent honeymoon trip. You need to pack smart so that you won't end up overpacking and paying for unwanted luggage fees. Also, you wouldn't want to spoil the trip by lugging around huge bags that will make it difficult for you and your spouse to be mobile. The challenge in packing for your honeymoon is knowing what you need and knowing how to organize your stuff. Also, keep in mind that you are a couple now, so it will be good to foresee your spouse's needs as well. Packing well can save you from a lot of problems and stress during the trip. Your honeymoon will be more enjoyable if you pack your stuff well. Here are some tips that you might find helpful in packing stuff for your honeymoon. 1. Invest in good luggage. It might seem silly to spend a lot of money on expensive luggage, but doing so will make your trip a lot more convenient. Take this honeymoon as a chance to invest in good luggage that will make you a more efficient traveler. Gone are the days when you go for the cheapest strollers in the cutest colors. In the long run, expensive luggage will pay for itself because it will make traveling more convenient for you. It is a reasonable purchase if you and your spouse are planning to do a lot of traveling together. Investing in sturdy, secure, and durable luggage will give you peace of mind and comfort. You won't have to worry about your stuff during your trip. And that is most certainly worth the extra expense. In the end, you'll find yourself enjoying your travel more because you are not worrying about how to transfer your stuff from one location to the other. 2. Take care of your rings. It is completely understandable if you no longer want to take off your ring after the wedding. After all, it is the symbolism of your love and commitment to each other. However, if you are going to have an adventurous honeymoon, you might consider leaving your rings behind to ensure that they won't get lost during the trip. If you insist on wearing them, you should at least prepare storage boxes where you can keep them when you go swimming or skydiving. You should also consider removing your flashy rings when you are going to far-flung destinations. In fact, you should highly consider leaving all your jewelry behind. Unless you know that you are going to a luxurious and secure hotel, just leave behind those gold and diamonds. These items are more likely to attract scammers and even thieves. You wouldn't want to compromise your safety and security in exchange of wearing flashy jewelry. 3. Divide your stuff well. Since there are 2 of you now, your stuff can be divided into 3 categories: yours, mine, and ours. However, it is unwise to bring a luggage for each of the categories. Don't pack your stuff based on who owns what. The best thing to do is to mix up everything and divide them between 2 or 3 luggages. This ensures that if disaster strikes and one of your luggages gets lost, both of you still have clothes to wear and stuff to use. 4. Plan where to keep your valuables. Valuable items include all your travel documents, identification cards, credit cards, and of course, cash. These are the things that you should never lose during your trip, so you need to ensure that you pack them securely as you travel. Make photocopies so that you have a backup just in case. Also, don't keep your cash all in one place. It is best to have at least 3 safe places, so that in case you lose some, you won't be completely penniless. It is a good idea to have a coin purse for small purchases and to use for fare and tips. Also, call your credit card company and bank and inform them that you are planning to travel. This will prevent you from encountering problems when you make purchases abroad. 5. Don't wait until the last minute. Packing the night before you leave is a recipe for disaster. Start packing by making a checklist and end by double-checking if you packed everything on that list. If you are leaving right after the wedding, take into account all the time you need to spend finalizing your wedding details. It will be best if you start packing early as you finalize the details of your trip. Make sure to pack all important items on your carry-on luggage and bring them with you on the plane. Also, bring a couple of clear plastic bags because they will prove to be useful in organizing your stuff, from your gadgets to your underwear. They are practical, easy to use, and keep things very organized. Don't bring shoes that you've never worn before because they might prove to be uncomfortable and difficult to walk in. Trusty, broken-in shoes are best because they will allow you to enjoy much-anticipated honeymoon activities without the risk of having blisters on your feet. 6. Maximize space. The way you fix your bag will affect how much stuff you'll be allowed to bring. If you pack your clothes wisely, you'll be able to maximize space and avoid wrinkling at the same time. Travel experts say that it is much better to roll your clothes than to fold them. Stuff your socks inside your shoes and use clear plastic bags to organize small items. You might also want to bring foldable bags that you can use for daytime excursions. If you have an organized luggage, it will be much easier for you to travel and enjoy your vacation. 7. Don't forget your camera. If you don't have one yet, now is the best time to invest in a good camera. Surely, you and your spouse will be making a lot of memories together, and you must do what you can to capture your special moments. Try not to capture everything with just your smartphone. Exotic locations and precious moments with your spouse deserve a better kind of photography. Don't forget to bring chargers, batteries, and lenses. You might also want to invest in a good camera bag that will make it easier for you to carry around your camera. Chapter 7. Dream Destinations. With so many travel destinations to choose from, it can be overwhelming to pick the perfect honeymoon experience that you and your spouse will enjoy. Do you want a luxurious trip in the Caribbean? An exciting African safari adventure? A backpacking trip all around Southeast Asia? This chapter presents a selection of top honeymoon destinations for newlyweds who want to kick off their married life in style. Don't worry, budget-friendly options are also included in this list. This list might help you come up with the perfect honeymoon getaway for you and your spouse. 1. New Zealand. New Zealand is one of the most romantic places in the world, and it would be wonderful to see the wonders of this magical place with your soulmate. This very diverse location offers both luxurious options for romance and active adventures for adrenaline rush. Swim in gorgeous beaches, go fishing or rafting in fresh waters, watch flightless birds like the kiwi and kakapo. You can also go on a luxurious wine tour in some of the world's most luxurious wineries. If you want to splurge a bit, you can also book a romantic wine pairing dinner. Depending on your preferences, there are several available packages for a New Zealand honeymoon. You can choose an 8-day trip to Christchurch and Queensland. You can have a special arrangement so that you can tour Fiji. You can even opt to fly, hike, and jet boat in the Siberia Valley. If you have a bit more time and money, you can even make an arrangement for an Australian and New Zealand tour. Since there are many couples who choose to go to New Zealand for their honeymoon, they have a thriving tourism industry. There are many hotels you can choose from. The Hookah Lodge is a place to stay if you want to enjoy nature, but still want to stay somewhere special and upscale. If you want spacious and homey accommodations, you might want to indulge in a luxurious lodge. Glen Arrow's Country Estate is an excellent choice. They even have a Michelin-starred chef who can prepare scrumptious meals for you and your spouse. 2. Cancun, Mexico. Cancun is seemingly built for tourists. The picturesque white beaches have been attracting honeymooners for decades. Cancun is a great way to experience the 21st century Mexico and is a destination that will never go out of style. It is best to go on a Cancun honeymoon from December through April. Though there are usually a lot of guests during this time, you don't worry because the 14 miles of beach will give you a sense of privacy. In this area, you won't run out of things to do. If you are looking for beaches, pools, exquisite shopping, spa treatments, and other vacation activities, then Cancun is the place for you. If you want to experience authentic Mexican culture, you also have the option to explore the nearby Mayan ruins. If you want to quench your thirst for adventure, you can also visit one of Mexico's exciting jungle forests. If you want to experience first-class Cancun pampering, you might want to consider staying in the Hyatt Zilara Resort. It is an all-inclusive resort that offers a lot of pampering options for their guests. For your honeymoon, you might want to consider booking one of the presidential penthouse suites, complete with private terraces. 3. Tokyo, Japan. Japan offers an exciting mix of the old and the new. It offers a refreshing cultural experience that will fascinate you and your spouse. A place with a completely foreign language and culture will allow you and your spouse to be closer to each other. Help each other out as you snake through Tokyo's confusing subways. Enjoy the beauty of cherry blossoms during the Spring Sakura Festival. Indulge in delicious Japanese food as you enjoy some of the best restaurants in the world. If you want to get in touch with traditional Japanese culture, you can easily visit one of the many temples where you can see many Japanese citizens in traditional Japanese outfits. You may also want to enjoy a Japanese sumo match. For a romantic stay, you might want to check Park Hyatt, Tokyo. It is the hotel made famous by the movie Lost in Translation. It offers a nice bird's-eye view of the city. You might also want to consider Shangri-La Hotel, Tokyo. It is a stone's throw away from the Imperial Palace, and it boasts nothing less than first-class pampering. 4. Bangkok, Thailand. Thailand is a very lively city. It is full of buzz and energy. If you and your spouse want to enjoy a different kind of experience in a tropical paradise, then Thailand is an excellent choice for you. Explore the streets of Bangkok. Go shopping in the weekend market of Chatuchak. You can also drop by the backpackers area of Khao San. The nearby Pattaya offers nice beaches that will surely relax honeymooners. Of course, don't forget to get an authentic Thai massage for more pampering. The beauty of a place like Thailand is that there are options for those who want something luxurious and options for those who want a budget-friendly trip. You just have to arrange your itinerary according to your budget. If you want something from the more luxurious end, consider checking the Siam Bangkok. It is chic and modern, yet also somewhat traditionally Thai. When you walk into your room, you'll feel like you entered a magazine shoot, and they have high-quality service that will make you feel like a true guest of honor. 5. Maldives. This is another classic choice for a honeymoon trip. Many will agree that it is perhaps one of the most romantic spots in the world. The beautiful place will allow you and your spouse to enjoy picture-perfect sunsets and exotic diving spots. If you and your spouse love animals, then you will surely enjoy seeing whale sharks, sea turtles, manta rays, and other sea creatures. A stay in Maldives is priceless because it will give you a sense of privacy. Each resort has its own island, so you won't feel like the beachfronts are too crowded. However, it is essential to choose the right resort that matches the activities that you want to do during your trip. For example, if you want to be pampered in a luxurious underwater spa, then you might want to consider staying in the Niyama on Dalu Atoll. If you want to enjoy exotic food, then the Taj Exotica Maldives is perfect for you. 6. Bali, Indonesia. Bali is the most famous of the Indonesian islands. It is the perfect setting for a romantic tropical getaway. Bali gives off a very chill and laid-back vibe, thanks to the artist community living in the area. Spirituality is ingrained in the culture of this place, and most tourists appreciate the sense of calm and peace that they get from every visit. Bali is one of the most refreshing places that honeymooners can visit. It is always warm and there is always something to do in this place. If you are not a fan of the beach life, you might consider visiting the artist community of Ubud. Their area is also the home of the magnificent rice terraces and the monkey rainforests. Bali is perfect for adventurous couples who want a spiritual and cultural twist to their honeymoon. You may stay in the Hotel Oberoi for an old-fashioned luxury hotel experience. It has classic rattan-style furniture and a sunken bathtub. 7. Tahiti. Tahiti is a very good choice for honeymooners. It offers an exciting blend of French and Polynesian cultures. The beaches are amazing, and the islands are great for diving and snorkeling. You can also keep things simple and spend lazy afternoons on the sandy white beaches. Tahiti will surely make your honeymoon memorable. There are just so many things to do that can help you and your spouse bond even more. Whether you choose to explore Bora Bora or Fiji, Tahiti promises to give you a magical experience that you will remember for a lifetime. You can stay in Intercontinental Bora Bora Le Moana, Intercontinental Bora Bora Resort, and Talasso Spa. Or you can shuttle between those two during your stay. The area is very tourist-friendly, so it shouldn't be a problem to ride a ferry in order to island hop. Travel arrangements can be arranged very conveniently. Conclusion. It is important to exert effort in planning the perfect honeymoon to make it memorable, unique, and truly special. You and your spouse deserve to enjoy this experience together. So you might as well do what you can do to make it perfect. Plan early, organize your itinerary, pack well, and budget wisely. There are seemingly so many things that you need to do in order to come up with the perfect honeymoon. However, it will all be worth it once you are there. Inevitably, not everything will go as planned. Perhaps you will encounter problems with your tickets or difficulties with the hotel. Don't mind these things. Don't stress yourself when problems arise during your trip. Try to keep everything light and relaxing so that you and your spouse can really maximize the experience. Even if you planned everything down to the last detail, don't beat yourself up if things don't go as planned. Ultimately, the goal of a honeymoon is to allow you and your spouse to enjoy each other's company. It is your time to really bond and enjoy as newlyweds. Even if you take a vacation later in life, it will no longer be as memorable nor as romantic as your honeymoon. Try to do what you can to really enjoy this trip. You and your spouse deserve the best kind of honeymoon that you can plan. The end.